welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Ignorant Skeptics Podcast. I am your host this evening, Mr. Bo Walker, and I am joined once again by Mr. Mark Carson and Jason Cephas.
What's up?
Bo, where's your hat?
Oh, well, I took it off because it was messing up my camera, but I had the tinfoil hat on. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is because we are discussing Bigfoot. Okay?
I got a strong stance on this, and I haven't wavered.
So, just a quick little backstory here. We were going to cover, if you guys listened to the last episode, we said we were going to talk about the Lost City of Gold, but life gets in the way. We've all gotten a little busy this week.
Could you stop with the excuses and just explain to people that you didn't research the topic that you
I did. Did you do any research?
I did.
Okay, well then I apologize.
I did a little research so that I could have an educated conversation with you.
Well, see, I feel like Bigfoot, we have enough knowledge of Bigfoot that we can have an intelligent conversation without doing a lot of research. But yeah, I started a new position within my job this past week, and I've been a little busy doing that and doing some other things. So I didn't really have much time to research it. But we are going to talk about the OG when it comes to cryptids. We are talking about Bigfoot. Right out of the gate, let's get it. Let's find out where you guys are at. Real or fake? Jason?
And I'm gonna say fake.
Okay. Mark?
Because, I'm gonna say fake.
Oh, 100% fake.
Oh, so I'm the only one that thinks that Bigfoot's a real thing.
So here's my thing. I'm saying he's fake, but I'm not gonna say that there's not a possibility that,
Okay.
There's a possibility that he very well could exist.
Okay.
Do I think he does? No.
Okay. I can get behind that because I'm kind of in the same boat there. Like we haven't gotten evidence.
Yeah. And the videos, they look like they were filmed on potatoes. So
it's 2023. Can we not get a pixelated ass video, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just feel like with how good technology is, I just saw kind of not really changing subject, but the Wheeling Nailers last weekend had their first responders night, and part of that they had the opportunity to go and tour the new facility for the Wheeling Police Department.
Mm-hmm.
And the police department showed them their new drone that they have. And they said that the drone can, they use it for, search warrants and stuff like that.
Surveillance, yeah.
Yeah, and they were talking about this light that's on it that you can't, the human eye can't see it, but it can see, they can see you from the screen. I did a really bad job at explaining that, but you get my point. The technology is there, and I think the technology is too good for us to not have gotten anything.
Yes. So I like to believe that there's, just like aliens, I like to believe that there are things in this universe that aren't explained, they will never be explained, and I feel like Bigfoot is one of them.
Well, I think saying universe versus the current planet is a huge leap because as we'll get into in a different episode another time, I'm convinced they're aliens. All lanky green, big black bulgy-eyed creatures? No, I don't.
No, I'm not comparing Bigfoot to aliens. I'm just saying in a
other things in this universe exist. I mean, I'm with you there, but like Jason said too, there's too much that we have in not in the world, but just specifically this country. Can't tell me that after how many years of people saying Bigfoot is real, you wouldn't have found something. And the people that are just so hardcore into this legend, and
We
like
we
go
probably
out
we probably
Bigfoot.
shouldn't let one of our good friends' fathers listen to this episode. Then
I mean, he's a little different, you know. I think he does it because it's a thing with his buddies. You know, I don't know how
yeah,
hardcore he is into believing about Bigfoot is real, but I've never had that conversation with him. But
yeah. I
there,
mean,
there are some people
I
that like they live for this. They go
oh
out
yeah.
go to different countries where people claim they've seen Bigfoot and they go find it. I'm like, come on. There's
And
so
that's
much
the thing.
stuff in this world.
I mean, coming from it from a skeptical scientific point of view, all
Ignorant
of
skeptic.
the ignorant skeptics, yes. Well, technically, you guys might be the ignorant skeptics because you're saying they're not, and it could be real. I mean, either way, all of these different reports from around the world, they all kind of correlate to each other in some form. Okay, it's a large, human-like, ape-like species that's walking upright, covered head to toe in fur.
Chewbacca.
Yeah. Think
Basically.
of Chewbacca, but with kind of like a more human face.
Yeah,
I mean,
if you've seen
well,
any Jack Link's beef jerky commercial ever,
yeah,
probably seen Bigfoot.
yes, but you got to think every area has a different term for Bigfoot or Sasquatch.
Hmm.
Okay, you got to think there's the Grassman of Salt Fork State Park, right out Cambridge, Ohio, not far from where we're at.
Hmm.
You've got the Yeti in Nepal, in the Himalayan mountain range. Do coming put your beliefs aside. Do you think that they could all be the same thing, or do you think Bigfoot and Yeti are two different things?
I mean, if
Do you think it's just like it's just climate and they change? They had to evolution. They had to blend in with the snow. They had to blend in with the forest and the grass.
I'm just so in disbelief about this topic. It's tough for me to remove myself. But I mean, if I have to come up with something, I would probably say that they're the same species of animal.
Yeah.
Um,
This I
Much like you
now
said, they kind of adapted to where they live. I mean, you know, I mean that's the best I would say. I mean, it's I would assume they're all the same type of thing.
yeah.
yeah,
Um
I just like I said, is there a possibility that there is a Bigfoot, a Yeti out there? Sure, but I just don't. I don't. Like I said, the technology now is too good for no one to have any sort of evidence towards this now. Like we can't, you know, people can't use the excuse of, oh well, we have this photo, this photo, this photo, this photo, this photo, but you can barely make anything out. I mean, think of how think of how good an iPhone camera is now.
yes.
I like. I mean, you're carrying a. I mean, you're carrying a studio camera basically in your pocket. So I have a hard time believing in it because technology is where it is right
I will
Am I
say
still
that
muted? Okay.
I think the consistency of which, like when you see photos that people claim or videos that people claim, I will say I am pleasantly surprised at the consistency of which the look of said creature is.
Exactly.
I mean, I'll say there's always those outliers that it doesn't even look close. But I will say I would say for the vast majority of at least videos that I've seen in recent times or pictures I've seen recently, I will say they're pretty similar. I mean, obviously you look at 10 pictures and you're gonna see 10 different looks of the of Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But I will say they generally look pretty close to the same. So I think that's where a lot of people struggle to, hardcore disbelieve it because of again the consistency of the people that say they've seen something. Much like the Loch Ness Monster. I mean, people repeatedly say the same thing on how it looks, and the same thing, talk about just something that's close to where we all live, Mothman. Everyone that claims they've seen Mothman, it's just consistently, it's the same thing over and over. And I just find that it's not dumb luck that people just, people aimlessly band together to agree on something, because it ain't very often in any country, let alone the United States, that we all agree on one thing, and we've pretty much come to a general consensus that this is how Bigfoot looks, this is what Mothman looks like.
Yes.
And every picture that you see is pretty consistently the same.
Now, I just looked up this article about, I typed in recent Bigfoot sightings, and when you click on images, the first thing that pops up is from an article from Cincinnati.com about a Bigfoot-like creature spotted at Salt Fork State Park in Ohio. From February 10th, 2020, there's a pretty clear picture, and it doesn't look like, it's a lot hairier looking than a human would be, but it could be a man walking through the woods in an ape outfit. That has been, it has happened before.
So funny, like a funny little story. So when when you were describing what Bigfoot looked like, and I said Chewbacca, so there's a story from when they were shooting Return of the Jedi, and they were in the California redwood forest filming the Endor scenes. They told Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca in the original trilogy, whenever he was not on camera, he had to remove the Chewbacca mask head.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want a Bigfoot
sighting.
Yeah. So, like, you hear stories like that, and like, how can we not be sure that some of these pictures are just people?
Yeah.
Think of how good like cosplaying has gotten too.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Like, I just saw someone on TikTok make a clicker from The Last of Us.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, out of a random flower that she got from, I think, like Target or something. And it looks incredible. And she just like cut it and pieced it all together, and it looks incredible. So like, think of stuff like that.
You guys might be turning me.
And just think of like I said, look at Star Wars Celebration and watch, notice how many Chewbacca costumes there are and how good they look.
Yeah.
So I just think, like I said, the ability to fake it has gotten better. The ability to, and I keep going back to technology, but the advancement in technology, it just keeps throwing me off. Like, there's just, in my mind, there's just too many factors going against Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Like, and now, I think I talked about it when we did the Atlantis episode, and I talked about how Atlantis, how many times we've seen Atlantis pop into pop culture. Same thing could be said for Bigfoot.
Yeah.
We talked about the Jack Link's commercials.
Well, they had an entire Animal Planet show titled "Finding Bigfoot."
Yeah,
where they went around and but this sighting at Salt Fork in this article is really cool. Because have you guys ever been to Salt Fork? Okay, so just for reference, it's in Cambridge, Ohio, Guernsey County. I used to go camping there at least 2-3 times a year with my mom and dad. Okay, we had a pop-up camper tow behind the truck. It was always a fun time. So I know the campgrounds and most of the trails like very well. But they said at Salt Fork State Park, there are 3 locations where a Bigfoot is said to have been spotted. Morgan's Knob, which is it's a hiking trail where a girl fell off the top and passed away. That was where an episode of Animal Planet show Finding Bigfoot was filmed. Parker Road and Bigfoot Ridge, which is the park's primitive campground. but that is also where Kathy Lee Gifford and Hoda Kotb filmed an episode of The Today Show. So, pop culture, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it also goes on to state that in 2012, the Salt Fork State Park was named as one of the USA Today's top 10 squatchiest places. So it is in the top 10 places in the United States that you are most likely to see a Sasquatch, Bigfoot, and okay, you guys might have convinced me. We have yet to find an actual evidence or bones or something.
Even fur.
I think of it this way.
Even something as simple. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Even something as simple as fur. Think about when you're walking through the woods and you see a patch of fur on a twig or something like that. From a deer or whatever.
Take it and get it DNA tested.
We don't even have that.
Yeah.
And let alone tracks. Tracks, to me, tracks are the big thing. Tracks, obviously tracks can be, again, faked, but I don't like using the word faked, because there are people that are hardcore, believers about this. So I hate using the word fake, but I just think it's the fact that we don't have any concrete prints, I think, is another thing that just throws me off.
And then you think of it this way too. When people, we've all seen, Facebook posts, TikToks, Instagram posts, whatever, of a guy who is on the other side of a football stadium, and he takes a picture of a girl and he posts it on social media, and he says, "Do your thing, Facebook. Help me find this girl." And within hours, days, if not hours, they find said person, or you have a child who's been abducted. Within, most of the time when they get, APBs out on cars and things, most of the time within days and hours, we find the person that's missing. But after 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and the Yeti, we ain't got nothing. We don't have a skeleton.
False. Have you watched Expedition Unknown, Hunt for the Yeti, on the Travel Channel with Josh Gates?
I have.
Okay. Couple things. Despite scientists collecting 58 hair samples of alleged cryptozoologists, Yetis, Bigfoots, Yowie, well, I don't know what that is, only 3 of them were claimed to be from the Yeti. Okay? My thing is, if you don't have, I'm slightly turning throughout this episode. If you don't already have evidence of said Yeti, how can you know what that DNA looks like? Yeah, I don't think the Yeti exists right now.
Doesn't.
The only evidence that kind of sticks out to me is the scalp and the top of the head. I'm gonna butcher the hell out of this name. It's in Nepal. You guys ready?
I've never been more ready for anything.
Kunjung Monastery.
I feel like that wasn't that bad.
I was gonna say.
I feel like the K is silent. Kunjung Monastery. I don't know. Anyhow, they have a 5-digit footprint encased there. They have the scalp of a said to be Yeti, and then in 2009, the hairs that were taken from that were sent, and they were determined to contain an unknown DNA sequence. So that is the only thing that we have found that points to a completely different species of animal.
When a human mates with a silverback, the Yeti.
Fuck. That's good. You guys, maybe I don't believe in the Yeti anymore. I still believe in Mothman. It's fine.
Oh.
What? You're telling me that a giant human-like bat moth thing flying around Point Pleasant, West Virginia?
Okay, listen. I gotta talk to you for a second, okay? I can't understand how anyone believes in these crazy creatures, but unicorns, a horse with a horn to people seems mythical, but a giant Yeti thing and a man with
we have unicorns
with moth wings
We have unicorns, Mark.
No, we have
they
rhinos.
roam the plains of they roam the plains of Africa.
Those are rhinos.
Yeah, it's a unicorn.
Horse. Rhinos aren't horses. I can't saddle it and ride it through town, okay?
I mean, you could. You'd have to be very goddamn brave.
Yeah, you could.
Well, they don't go very fast.
Oh, crap, they don't. You ever seen a rhino in full charge?
No, Bo. I can't say.
Look up a video. Them things are terrifying.
No, I'm sorry, but Yetis don't exist. The Bigfoot doesn't exist. Mothman doesn't exist. I'm sorry to burst people's bubbles. That's
Loch Ness Monster?
Well,
does Loch Ness Monster exist?
No.
And so
have you ever been to Loch Ness?
No.
You can't say it doesn't exist.
Well, I've never been to Bigfoot's Knob or Bigfoot Forest in Salt Lake, but I can tell you that Bigfoot...
Salt Fork.
What did I say? Salt Lake?
Salt Lake's in Utah, genius.
That's fair.
Oh, God, we kind of went off the rails really quick.
Oh, Bigfoot's Knob.
Bigfoot's Knob. That would be the name of this episode.
I didn't even catch that. All right,
I know, me and Mark, mainly Mark, he is the hardcore non-believer. I think there is a possibility of it. However, that possibility is very slim. Bo, you're kind of flip-flopping back and forth as we go through this episode.
Yeah,
I just need to say this.
Yeah.
If you are the people who are a hardcore believer in Bigfoot, good on you. Keep doing it. If you love doing it, keep doing it. Don't let 3 ignorant skeptics ruin your passion.
He said the name of the podcast in the name of in the podcast.
But that's the beauty. That's the beauty of that's the beauty of being human. We all have opinions, and we all have.
Well, that's the whole point of this episode. I mean, this is we're going to get topics in general, not. Obviously, this one I feel like is pretty weighted to one side, especially both, since you've even said you're kind of flopping. But I mean, we're going to cover topics on here, whether it's aliens or it doesn't matter. I mean,
yeah.
And all 3 of us or whoever else is on here, all of us could have a varying opinion about it. And again, that's like Jason said. That's the beauty of and it's I think it's a problem now that we as individuals feel, not us 3, obviously, but people in general feel that because somebody disagrees with you that, they're mad at you, they hate you, or, there's so much hate because someone disagrees with you. Just because I don't agree that Bigfoot's real doesn't mean if Jason was a hardcore believer, like Bo, like you said, one of our friends' dads is a hardcore believer, and I don't like him any less. To each their own. If he wants to go camping and try to find Bigfoot, have fun. I'll go camping and just sit around a campfire and sing a campfire song and drink beer. I'm sure he thinks I'm an idiot because I root for the Green Bay Packers. So it's fine. To each their own.
Yep. I mean, let me put it this way. I want to believe in things like this. I want to believe that there are other things out there that we don't know.
Yeah.
But you guys have made a very good point that we haven't found any real substantial evidence. Like you said, if you are a hardcore believer and you want to invite the 3 of us to go out into the woods in the middle of the night in Salt Fork State Park, I got to check my work schedule and I got to do the taxes, feed the hogs, do the dishes. Still got some homework I got to do. But please tell me you guys got that reference. Christmas Vacation.
Never seen it.
No?
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. But yeah, no. If you are a hardcore believer in Bigfoot, in Sasquatch, Grassman, whatever have you, we will. If you want to invite us to go search for Bigfoot for a night, Salt Fork State Park, I am volunteering these 2 that they have to go with me.
I'm down. I'm down for it.
Mark, why are you saying no?
Because
you scared of the dark?
Listen here, Bo. I got it here. Okay, so I'll do a lot of things. I'll do anything in the daylight. But I'll give you one reason why I am not going in the woods with any of you yahoos in the middle of the night.
Why?
Because when the human excrement hits the oscillating element and y'all take off running, my fat ass is not faster than anyone that's going to be going. So unless we take somebody who is unfortunately in a wheelchair or who is about 3 times my size so I can outrun somebody, I will not be joining anyone in the middle of the woods at night.
That's your
I feel like we can't post this, but Jason, we have to.
Hey, I did not disrespect anybody. I said if you are
unfortunately in a wheelchair.
I did. That could be simply because they had a few toes that they needed some surgery on, and they just can't walk at the present moment. I am not making fun of anybody.
There is a blacktop trail mark.
That doesn't blacktop wood water doesn't matter. I'm not beating any of you in any type of endurance competition. So unless you give me like a baseball bat and I can break Jason's legs and sacrifice him to the noise, I mean,
listen here. We're not going into the woods not locked and loaded.
I don't know. I'm just not convinced that I don't think I'm going in the woods at night with anybody. I was in the woods with y'all already a couple times in the middle of the woods, and one time in particular did get pretty hairy for a moment.
Yeah, it did. Pretty hairy. Bigfoot exists. Ha! I see what you did there.
I mean, I'm pretty hairy. If I walk through the woods, people might think I look like Bigfoot.
Let's try it.
No.
Okay. Bigfoot doesn't exist.
But if you think he does,
let us know.
Each their own.
Yeah, let us know if you think Bigfoot exists. Let us know. Tell us why.
If you have a picture of Bigfoot,
give us evidence.
Let us.
Yeah, know. we want to know. We want to know why you believe in it so much, and and I think something that I know they talk about on Expedition Unknown a couple times. Some of these myths and legends are about nothing, but they're created over the passion for adventuring and like treasure hunts. For all we know, you could be following a treasure map to absolutely nothing, but think of the places that you'll go during this.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I do think is cool about all of this. But yeah, it's the adventure.
Yeah.
And if that's what you enjoy about it, then tell us that. Tell us why. Tell us why you believe. Is it because you've seen something that you couldn't explain, or is it solely just because of the adventure that you enjoy going on? Like, we want to know. That's the purpose of this type of show, is we want to know, we want to know if you believe or you don't believe. We want to know your theories, and when we eventually get to it, we want to know what you think about the lost city of gold and where it is.
Yeah. And like the title of this podcast says, we're ignorant. I love learning new things. Teach us. Like we want to know.
Yeah.
Like Jason already said.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to wrap us up for the night. But before we go, Mark, I have one more question for you. So you already said that you will not go into the woods at night for a Bigfoot hunt. Would you do it if it was our friend's father?
Is he bringing his uncles?
We can make it happen.
Yeah, I could outrun one of them. Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, all right, then we're in. We're in. Okay. We can make that happen next time he comes home.
Sure.
But yeah, so that's gonna wrap us up for the night. Like we already said, let us know if you believe that Bigfoot exists, doesn't exist, why not? Jason, where can they find us?
You can find us on the Deep Impact pages. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can listen along on Spotify and soon to be Apple Podcasts.
And Anchor.
and Anchor, and you can
Like
watch
your hat
the
says.
video.
And Anchor.
You can watch the video of the podcasts on our YouTube channel, and when you go to YouTube, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, and click the notification bell so you never miss a new upload.
Pating.
There it is.
There it is. All right. We will be back in 2 weeks with another episode. Hopefully, I will do more research this time, and we can actually get around to the Lost City of Gold, because I know exactly where it is. So if you tune in next episode, you'll find out that the Lost City of Gold is located in the